How are we doing, everyone? I trust you've been safe and well and training hard. Today we're smashing out a leg session. So for many people who've been following me along, this is an area of growth that I need to focus on. We're giving up the treadmill. Look, I'm still doing a 5-minute warm-up, but I used to sit on this thing for easy, 45 minutes to an hour, at about 10 to 12 kilometers. And unfortunately, that's caused my legs to not grow as well as my upper body. So we're doing a 5-minute warm-up, and now we're going to be smashing legs. As you can tell from my videos and the photos from on stage, my legs are quite lean and they are developed. They're just lacking the size because of my favorite gym equipment. So we'll probably be exchanging that for a stepper soon, or stairmaster, whatever they're called. We've been smashing those out at the gym every night for about 30 minutes. All right, so leg extensions, that's where we're starting. So I've got about, 50 kilos on this. And again, we're doing 3 sets of 12. And the reason why we do 12 is that really helps with the muscle growth. And what you don't want to do is go too heavy and not be able to develop the proper form. What you want to do is get used to the weight first. So you need to be able to do the exercise and have proper form. If you're not having proper form, you're not getting a proper workout. People talk about partial reps and this and that. Look, I'm sure they work, but rule of thumb is you want to do a minimum of 3 sets and a maximum of 12 reps if you're trying to grow. You can go, 4 sets, 8 reps. That's really good as well. For what works best for me is the 3 and the 12. Supersets, I believe they're called. So, and you don't want to rest too much in between sets. And that's the benefit of training at home. Is that when you're at the gym, you got mates there and you'll stop and have a chat. And sometimes that can distract you between sets. It's good to have a chat, and I'll go and annoy mates and talk, and everyone does it to me too, and I'm fine with that. But working at home, get into your own zone and really focus. You can focus at the gym as well. Depends, sometimes you just don't want to engage people, pop the earphones in or headphones over the top. So as you can see, we're not resting for that long. So good form, 3 sets of 12. And now we're going to do some hamstring exercises. So same machine, but we're going to lower the weight for this one because your hammies tend to not be able to, carry as big of a load as your quads. What should I do? Let's try 20. And if it's not enough, we'll put more on for the next set. And you want to get yourself one of these benches. I think they're really good if you're at home. They've got the leg workout on them. Ideally, I'd like to get some more leg equipment. But, I just go to the gym and use the machines there. All right. And again, I'll do these again at the gym of a more isolated routine. So with this one, you'll be using both legs. And sometimes what I find when you use equipment that uses both arms, both chest, pecs, both legs, is that one will overcompensate for the other. So it's important to also make sure you're doing exercises where you can work out individually as well. That just helps everything develop more evenly. That might be too light. When you do these, you want to bring it all the way in. just like that. So just like a curl, a bicep curl. I call these bicep curls for your legs. Just put a bit more weight on that. So it's amazing how much more energy and strength you have when you bring carbs back into your diet. Like those last 2 weeks where I was shredding down, and 2 weeks out I was reducing carbs. I didn't stop them completely. But by 1 week out, I completely removed all carbs. And I felt quite, look, I was all right. I'm sure prolonged would have been a bit dangerous. But I just remember training in that last week to comp, just not being able to lift much. It was quite weak. I was still stronger than what most people can lift, but in comparison to what I normally lift and train with, I just didn't have that energy. Now that I've come back, reintroduced carbs into my diet, the amount of weights now, I'm like, oh, hang on, it's too light. I've got to go it again. It's amazing how much food and nutrition really impacts your overall health. It's just, yeah. All right, second set. It's a bit better. And again, you want to control it. Yeah, so you want to make sure your muscles are controlling the weight and you're not just letting the weight do the work. So you want to have control. Ideally, you can do your sets a bit slower. I sometimes go a bit too quick. You can slow it down and really burn it. Either, really. But yeah, so you can see the side view from my legs isn't too bad. Sort of the same problem Arnie used to have. If you look at Arnie's, posing on stage and that from his era, when you got the front on from Arnie, his quads weren't, well, they were a lot bigger than mine, but they weren't that big compared to his upper body. But when he turned from the side, his hamstrings, everything just looked a lot bigger. He's definitely a bodybuilder. I suppose everyone focused and followed a lot of routines. Look at that. Look at the Arnie boys. Muscle on top of muscle. Third set. Yeah, and there you go. And you can definitely train with someone. You don't need to do this on your own. So that's the other plus side of things. You can train with a friend, someone to hold you accountable to training sessions. It's always a good way to start. If you're looking to start training, do it with a friend. Because the days where you can't be bothered going, they'll G you up to go in. All right? All right, so calves. This is another weak point of mine that I need to grow. Now, it's important to note that I'm sitting here saying that my calves are too small and my quads are too small, but it's more relevant to my body. They're still quite large in comparison to everyone else's. So this is something I developed to help me do calves. So 3 pieces of wood. All right. So as you can see, what's that? It's probably about 20 mil off the ground. And this just gets you moving to do calf raises. So at the gym, been using the calf raise machine. Whereas at home, I don't have that, so I have to improvise. That's pretty effective. All right, so 20 kilo weight. And you sort of go on the ball, or the tip, not your tips, but front part of your foot. We come up, hold for a sec, down, hold, down, hold, down. Not too fast, and I make this mistake a fair bit too. Sometimes you go like this, you don't know sometimes, so you just got to focus. Now you can smash your calves, do a few of those. I should probably do a lot more. But again, 3 sets of 12. And you can see with my calves, this one's pretty good. But this one here, you'll see that there's muscle damage. I tore that. It's probably better from the back, you'll see it. I tore this one years ago. It never really healed properly. But oh well, such is life. Again, short rest, back to it. Now, obviously, don't go and strain yourself. If you can't have it that short of a rest, have a bit longer. Last thing you want to do is have an injury and be off training for a while. Then it'll put you back. And don't forget to breathe while training. I often see people when I train with friends, when they're doing a set, they'll stop breathing. You really need to get oxygen moving constantly while you're training. That's how without oxygen in your blood to your muscle, it's not going to be growing. Okay? And that's how people pass out and faint. You'll see videos online of people doing deadlifts and then passing out. I guarantee you, when they're doing that deadlift, they go like this. Right, so what's that doing? They're holding their breath, so they've got no oxygen circulating their bloodstream, and they're exerting all their energy in that lift. So the way your body works is your blood takes oxygen around your body, to put it into where it's going. So think about it, you've got weight, and you're picking that up. Your body's sending all your energy through your blood, all your oxygen, all your power to what you're doing. Now, if you don't have fresh oxygen coming in, you're only using what it's sending, right? So you're coming up, you're using it, right? And your body's now kicking into an adrenaline, and you've got it, and your body's holding it all together, and then you let it go, and then you exhale, all the carbon dioxide comes in, and your body goes, oh, we've got rid of the threat, we've done it, cool. Now we go to sleep. Boom, you're out, and you're recovering. See it all the time. It's funny. Okay? Always breathe. You need to always breathe. Yeah? Otherwise, you're not getting the nutrients and oxygen and blood into the muscles that's actually doing the work. Third set. Seven, 8, 9. We're going a bit more for these ones. 2 more. All right. So we're not going to do squats here today. I've sort of gone off squats at home with the bar just because I did have an injury a while ago. I tore some ligaments, and it wasn't so much from the exercise that I tore it. I was fine. It was the day after, while I had DOMs kicking in, my kids come up, Dad tied my shoelace, bent down, overextended, bang, electrocution all through my legs, lower back. I was in bed for 2 weeks. Well, I wasn't in bed for 2 weeks. I kept moving. I have this thing in my mind. If I have an injury, I like to keep moving. So I find, for me personally, and everyone's different, exercising and staying active helps it heal quicker. Whereas I think if I had stayed in bed for that 2 weeks, it would have recovered poorly. And I wouldn't have competed this year if I didn't get moving and active. It would have costed me that, and I was pretty committed. All right, lunges. Let's see how we go now that I've eaten carbs. Might be a bit different. Okay, so we're just going to do light weights here. So So these are another good exercise, all right? So step forward and we come down. Now these are better and easier to do while walking. I find that my balance isn't the best doing them like this, and I can't seem to get the same balance. So there's that. I find it better walking because if you've got space, and at the gym it's better, then you can really carry a weight and just do your steps. But obviously I don't have the room here. That's a good spot to do it. And you have to excuse me, I've got asthma, and all the pollen and everything has been getting to me the last couple of days. So lunges are really good. They do tend to work all parts of your leg and your glutes. All right, another set. Oh, nearly fell. So 3 sets of those, and then we'll head to the gym to finish our exercises. Before we head into the gym though, I did forget one exercise. And we do lunges, but with dumbbells. So legs shoulder length apart, dumbbells, and then when you come up, you got to tense your glutes and thrust them forwards, just like a normal squat. It's 12 sets, 3 reps. And they've been good, you know, moving away from traditional squats while we're healed. That was a good exercise to do. We build up the strength, we still get the same routine, the same outcome. All right, let's head into the gym and continue this workout. Hey everyone, sorry about the crappy view today. I've left my stand at home, so you'll have to put up with the view from my dashboard there. So I hope you've been enjoying the videos I'm putting together. I'm trying to sort of help people, guide them through sort of a natty routine, and I want to talk a bit more about that today. A lot of people keep asking me if I'm natural or if I take gear, and look, I can honestly say that I have never taken gear in my life. Happy to take a blood test, whatever, whenever, wherever, whatever date. It doesn't really bother me. Could be random, completely out of the blue. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I don't take gear. Nothing against those that take gear. Like you'll see on social media that it's actually quite big. People are quite open about it in this sector, which is quite odd. I find that really weird. Yeah, so I don't know why that is, I guess. I guess people are just trying to be honest with their results that they're getting so they don't mislead people. I don't know. It does probably, tend to make it more acceptable, I guess, and people are using it. My thoughts on it specifically, look, why don't I take gear? I suppose one thing is I don't like wasting money on things that you don't need. Obviously, I waste money on things occasionally and stuff like that. But I think with my training and what I do and what I've always done, like I said previously, it's around mental health. Like, I didn't do it to be a bodybuilder. I didn't do it to be like a big unit. I was literally going to the gym to fight my demons every day. Like it's pretty hard. And growing up in a working class suburb, trying to make ends meet, trying to get it to the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, end of the year. Like it's pretty hard. Like, especially when you don't have strong family supports and things like that. It does make it hard for you at times, And I think for me, the gym was my drug of choice. Like the actual gym, the endorphin hit, the high, the pump, the soreness. Like, I suppose if a gym could be kind of, said, it's like, I don't want to use the word self-harm or anything like that, but it is quite painful when you have a really strong, hard session. You are going to hurt the next day. Like, you are going to really, really hurt. And that pain makes you feel alive, I guess. And I really enjoy that feeling, that pain. And I also enjoy the pain of just training in general, like trying to push that extra heavy weight. And I feel that had I used gear, then it would make me more not painful, like it wouldn't be the same pain. It'd make me feel like I wasn't hurting myself enough because I've taken a substance that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing and the way I look. So I think it would have been not in my interest to take gear. That I have a phobia of needles as well. Like I'm one of those blokes that when he goes to hospital and you got to give me a needle or a blood test, I'm like, close my eyes, can't see it, don't want to see it, I'll pass out. So yeah, there's that. And I don't really want to spend money on it. A couple of the guys have mentioned, a few people are like, mate, you've worked so hard for your body over the years. If you jumped on juice now, you can go in like full pro and all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't interest me. Like, I've never done a comp prior to the one I've just done, and it's because I wanted to do the comp. All right. That was a goal that I set for myself, and I'm the kind of person that I need goals in my life to get through. And I think everybody needs goals. Like, and it's something that a lot of people don't set enough of. They don't set themselves enough goals. And I don't mean going out there and setting high unachievable goals, but they're still good. I have high unachievable goals. I sort of know that I probably won't achieve them, but I still reach for them. It doesn't mean you don't, because it keeps you occupied. It gives you something to do. It gives you life worth living. Like, I remember I went and caught up with a mate not too long ago, or a couple of mates, old school mates from back in the day, and we were having a chat around what's everyone been up to, and everyone's like, oh, work, home, kids, the usual. And then one of my other mates turned around and said, ask VALLONE. That guy's always busy, he's always doing something. And that's me to a T. Like, I've always been full of energy and I can't sit still. I have to do things, and that it comes from my past. And the reason why I'm getting into sort of men's health is, coming from that challenging background. I did go through some dark times in my late teens, early 20s, where I didn't want to live. And I think when you've been there and you get through it, you realise how precious life is, and that you don't want to waste your time. There's so much to experience, there's so much to do, and it's just sitting at home. It's I can't do that. Like, I need to go and do something, and you don't need money for a lot of it. Yeah, like people think they need all this money, like, and this is what I talk about influencers, you know, and kids being misled. And it happens to adults too. Grown men get misled. You know, you jump on Instagram and you see this person jet setting everywhere, mate. Do you know what? That person does that for a job, right? That trip that they've just paid X amount of dollars to go over there, snap a couple of photos, and then come back, they're claiming that on tax. You can't do that. I can't do that. It's a tax cut for them because it's their job to promote. Someone's paying them to head out there and promote their venue so that everyone else watching thinks that's where they need to go. Mate, I go down to Werribee Gorge. Do you know how beautiful Werribee Gorge is? You know, St Kilda Beach, that's another great spot to go. I love going there with the kids. You know, Brimbank Park out here in the west. There's, you know, Melton Weir. There's like so many places that are, if not, you know, well, just as good or if not better than what you see on Instagram. And you can drive there in a day. It's like Trentham Falls in Victoria, absolutely beautiful place, waterfall there. Go there with the kids. I go there all the time. You know, there's a whole day gone and you spend time with your family. And I think, you know, people sit at home sometimes and they're like, oh, I've got no money, can't do anything. And you know what? You don't need money. You know, money is you pay your bills, you get by, and you know what? It doesn't matter how much money you have. And I know you hear this a lot. People hear this a lot. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you're always going to have money problems. And you know what? I can honestly say that I understand that. Right? I come from a place where I had like zero. I experienced sort of homelessness, and I come from a really broken, destructive family as a youth. You know, like I had good people in my family as well in my life, but I come from like a single mother background. You know, we ate fucking potatoes for dinner at if we could, or 2-minute noodles, right? That's how broke we were. You know, getting $2 for milk together was not easy. You know, and you know, now I work full time in a decent job. My partner works as a nurse, like that's a good job, it's decent pay. We earn decent money now. I'm earning probably, you know, going from zero to what I'm earning now is huge, right? And I can honestly tell you, like, you're never going to have enough money, right? You're never going to have enough, right? Because you go from one problem to another. Then you have kids, and then you got to do things from them. And you know what? I have these arguments at home a lot of time with people in our family, because people like to buy kids and spoil them things, and yes, buy your kids stuff, right? But don't live vicariously through your kids, if they're all grandchildren or nieces and nephews, right? Just because you didn't have something growing up and you wanted that, right, doesn't mean you buy it for the kids, right? Because it doesn't mean that's what they want. Like my kid, like she's pretty switched on. For a 6-year-old, I've got to say, you know, my son, he's only 3, I've still got to see how he goes, but I think he's pretty good. He's learning off his sister. But my daughter, she is with it. Like, she's the kind of girl that I know. Look, I have trouble with her because she's the kind of, you know, there's some people in this world where you go to talk to them because you ask them to do something, and you tell them to do something, and they don't want to do it, and they're negotiating with you back. But it's not just a no, I'm not doing this, or no tantrum. She's like, she's talking with you, negotiating with, like, she is very smart. You'll say, no, don't do that, and then she'll come in with that, oh, I wasn't doing that, but I was thinking about, what do you think about this? And then she tries to bring you in to it, and then she will try to lead the conversation to where she wants it to go. And that is a really good skill to have, especially seeing that from a 6-year-old emerge. Like, I'm pretty look, scared for me as a parent, because it's not easy. That's hard. I know it's going to be hard. But I know that she's going to be all right as she grows up. Like, I know she's got the smarts. She can see things in the world. She asks questions. She's not a yes person. She'll challenge. Like, she's going to have issues. I have issues because I'm a bit of I do similar things. I challenge. But, you know, that's it. That's what you hear in life. You're not here to listen to someone else and be a sheep. You're here to turn around and say, well, no, you want to do that. I want to do this. Meet me in the middle, all right? And sometimes you don't want to meet people in the middle because they're wrong, right? Let's be honest. And obviously, right and wrong is a matter of position and opinion, but sometimes there's things you don't want to compromise on. And, Yeah, so I'm at the point with her that I'm just like, if I don't even entertain. Sometimes I do because I want to see what she does and how she manages it and what she's saying to me. But a lot of the time I'll just be like, nah, not doing it. I know what you're doing. Stop. Right. Or now I just get in first before she even says anything, and then she's like, how'd you know I was going to do that? I'm like, mate, you're my daughter. I think I know you better than what you know yourself. So, but yeah, I've gone off track there a bit. Point and discussion. I got carried away with my kids, as you can tell. I'm quite a passionate father. But yeah, you don't want to live vicariously through your kids. You know, you got to teach them that, you know, you need to teach them values and things. And I want to say you got to work for things, this stuff, because everyone knows that. But back to my initial discussion around the use of gear in the sector and all that kind of stuff, and my thoughts on it. Look, it doesn't look. With my other video the other day, I didn't get to mention this part because I said my microphone stuffed up, but it was something I said initially the first time was, 5 words. How does it affect me? Right? A lot of people get all worked up about shit that has nothing to do with them, it doesn't impact them, and it has no presence or anything in their life. Like, how does it affect me if the bloke next to me wants to use gear? It doesn't. Oh, but you're going to jump on stage as well. He's going to jump on stage and he's going to beat you. Well, big fucking call there. How do you know he's going to beat me? Right? For starters. How do you know? How does anyone know? How does anyone know that some guy on gear is going to beat someone who's not on gear? Because let me tell you a story, right? There was a bloke at the gym a couple of years ago. This bloke wanted to do a comp. I don't want to mention names, right? Because everyone does their own thing. And it was a stupid decision. We all told him, stupid decision. The guy has a decent car, sells it for 25 grand, right? Yeah? So now he's got 25 grand. So he goes and spends it all on steroids, Tren, Anavar, all this kind of crap. Gets a coach, gets a trainer. He literally spent $30,000 or $40,000 on gear and shit. And guess what? He didn't even make a place, right? Like, why? Why would you do that? What a waste of cash. And this is what I mean, right? Now, I don't take gear. Do the other people on stage with me take gear? I assume not, because I'm in a natural bodybuilding competition. Yeah, okay, all right. I know of a few guys in the past and who've used gear. That's all sport, mate. Look at Essendon Footy Club. I used to be a massive Essendon supporter, right? I don't follow Essendon no more. I don't even follow footy. That's killed it for me, right? Anyway, but it's sport. You know, Tour de France, everything else. Wherever there's sport, wherever there's humans, there's going to be people that game the system. And you know what? Who cares? How does it affect me? Because I don't come first, maybe? But how do I know that like you sit here and say, oh, that person was a gear, that's what you like. No, mate. The guy worked hard, he trained. You still got to train if you're on gear, right? Like, it doesn't just take gear and then you go, you compose and everything the whole lot. It doesn't work that way, right? So you still got to do the yards. But how does it affect me? How does it affect you? I don't really care what someone does. Like, what someone's doing to themselves, what they do, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. What affects me is what I do, right? Because that's what's in my control. I can only control what's in my control. I can't control what other people do. And that's about it, really. You know, like, what's the point? And there's people that jump on the thing, oh, how much you gear in this, that, da. Like, bruvs, sometimes I feel like it's a compliment. I've got to tell you now, when someone jumps on my thread and says, oh, this guy's juicing or lay off the juice, like, I cannot tell you how proud I fucking am. Do you know why? Because I've been training for a shit time, for a very, very long time, right? Now, if you jump through my Facebook, my life's pretty public because I've got family all over the country, friends all over. I like to share stories, and I find Facebook a very good thing to build your life story on, right? Not everything I put on is public. Sometimes it's just for me, because when I'm an old bastard sitting in a nursing home and there's no one around me anymore and I'm going crazy, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be reliving my life on Facebook. Nah, not a bad idea. But anyway, like I was saying, I've been training for a long time. A lot of it's on Facebook. Like, I've trained when I was younger with mates, right? When in my 20s, like when I was a teenager, you start off a little bit didn't really go that well. Had a bit of a break, like I said, a bit of trouble time. 20s, picked it up again. You know, I'm nearly 40. I've been training for a very long time. So when someone turns around and says, this bloke's juicing, this guy's too big to be natty, I'm like, yes, give it to me. Tell me more. Because, like, it is a massive ego boost because I've accomplished something. I have accomplished training naturally what people out there try to use gear for. Like, people think I'm on gear. Mate, have you seen my legs? If I was on gear, I'd be a lot bigger, right? For starters. But it is just, I love it. It's the best. Like, people are like, this guy's, it's great. But yeah, and like that's the thing. Like, you know, how does it affect me what someone else thinks about me? It doesn't. It really does not affect me one bit. It doesn't. I'm doing something. I'm chasing one of my goals, and I'm living my life. What someone else says doesn't affect me, right? It doesn't. Sometimes when people do affect you, then you might need to get out of your lane a bit and sort things out, right? And I'm no stranger to that. But here's the thing. How does it, every time you go to do something, I want you, or every time you read something, every time you see something, every time you do anything, I want you to say 5 words first. Anytime you become emotional about something, I want you to say to yourself, how does it affect me? Right? Because I can guarantee you 99.9% of the time, whatever it is you're upset about, whatever it is you're about to do, it has no bearing over your life and will not actually mean, it doesn't mean anything. You're just getting hyped up and involved in crap for the sake of it, because, you know, as humans, we're like this herd mentality. If everyone's saying and doing this thing, we're all saying and doing this thing. Not many people, right? And it's true, not many people have the I don't want to say balls, but, you know, not many people have the strength and the courage to go against the grain. Everybody wants to do what's popular because they don't want to be on the out. And you know what? Who cares if you're on the out? How does it affect you? You know? Because here's the thing, if you follow everyone all the time, when you need help, will they come to your aid? No. You're getting affected by things that don't affect you, that someone else is having a whinge about, and you're affecting yourself. Yeah? Just have a think about that. Anyway, it's time to go finish this leg sesh. Sorry about the crappy video. I've left my microphone at home. Bit of a whinge tonight, I guess, but I wanted to talk a bit more around, you know, gear, use, all that kind of stuff, my thoughts on it. I really don't give a shit. It doesn't affect me what people do, like I said. And I just wanted to pass on some wisdom about, you know, mental health and strength and just self-care, really. Self-power as well. It's not self-care, it's self-power, isn't it? You know, how does it affect me? It doesn't. Take care, and I'll see you after I finish this training set. Well, I'll see you in the... And so first up, we went for some hack squats. So these are a great exercise to precisely target the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes. And this is where I'm really needing to do more work. And this is what I'll need to be focusing on over the next few months or next year. So increasing my calories on days that I do legs to enable me to grow them. That's going to help out a fair bit and get them more in line. After that, we hit up some calves. Now, this machine I probably need to be using more of. There's only 2 in the gym, so it's always busy, and that's costed me. Usually I just stand on my tippy toes and hold weights. So if you've seen my previous videos, I've made myself something with wood, but I need to be doing a lot more calf raises and calf exercises. This is another great exercise to target those calves and get them really growing. And this will help me going forward. And then we're on to the hamstring curls. I love this machine. Like, my hamstrings are pretty good. If you see my hamstrings, they usually pop out. And I think I'm starting to really grow the quads and the hammies really well. This is one of those exercises that will help you grow hamstrings. You know, a must do. When you can get off this machine and barely walk, that's when you know you've smashed your hammies. And I love getting off that stage. You know, and then obviously we're doing our I can't even remember what this machine's called,
But yes, we're hitting it up. So I load up with a lot of weights. It's a great exercise. A lot of people give it shit, but you must do it. Like, this is a great exercise. It really targets the glutes, the hammies, the quads. You can also use it to do calves. I'll do that. I'll leave it up a bit higher and use my tippy toes and push it just with my balls of my feet or tips of my toes and push it up and down. A great exercise. But yeah, that's it really.